So in our last video, we figured out that we are 585 kilometers away from where we want to be. And the key here is that it's east 9 degrees north. So how long is it going to take me to do the rest of this? Well, let's just scroll over here and let's draw out something new. I'm just going to draw a line right here. Now what I need to do is I'm going to draw a line here because I know the general direction that I want to fly is this way. But the problem is if I fly this way, I've still got a wind, so it's going to take me off course. So let's think about what that wind's going to do. If we go back to our question here, so I'm going to scroll a little bit, and I go up here, I know that I've got a wind that's traveling at 40 kilometers an hour. Okay, so I've got to come up with a scale that works. And I'm yet again going to do 1 centimeter is equal to 10 kilometers an hour. So in this case, the wind was blowing at north 30 east. So I'm going to draw a line right here. And I'll do north 30 east. All right. So that is 40 kilometers an hour. I know my plane's still going to go 120 kilometers an hour. Now I know I want to eventually head in this direction of some sort. So therefore I kind of have to aim my plane like that way to overcome this wind. So now I'm just going to erase that yellow because that was just a sketch. I know I'm going to travel 120 kilometers an hour. So 120 kilometers an hour is going to be a 12 centimeter line. So let's look at my ruler here. I'm going to have to count out 12 centimeters. So there's my zero line. I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's my 12 centimeter line. If I was flying straight, that won't make us to our destination. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to rotate my ruler so that here is where I start, and at this spot right here is where it's touching the orange line. So I'm going to rotate this down a little bit. Okay, looks to me like a 6-degree line. So what's going to happen is I'm actually going to aim my plane in this direction. So this is 120 kilometers an hour. I don't need these. You just can't see my hands on a virtual ruler, so I had to point that out. But you'll see now as I have a 12 centimeter line. And it is at an angle of east 6 degrees south. So now when I look at my wind and I look at my plane, this orange line here is exactly how fast I am going when I take into account all of those things. So I'm going to measure my line here. And I'm going to say that's 14.3 centimeters long, so 143 kilometers an hour. This is the resultant speed when I take into account the wind speed and the plane speed. So finally, I know my destination. And I'm going to use my formula V is d over t. Now I know what my destination is, and I now know my speed. So what I'm trying to find is time. So let's rearrange this equation. So d over v. So I know I am 585 kilometers away, and I'm going to travel at 143. So I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator now. Plug that in. And we end up with an answer of 4.09 hours. So is this my final answer? Well, not quite. Let's go back to what we did at the beginning of the question. If I want to figure out how much time it takes, I need to do T1 and T2. So now T1 is 3 hours because we were just told that, and T2 is 4.09. So when I add these together, the answer is 7.09 hours. Now your answer is going to be off slightly because we're all doing scale diagrams. So if you're in this general range, you're good. You might get a little bit less than 7 hours, you might get a little bit higher, but this is the range.